legally.
Oh, well, that's no fun.
Look, if we wanted to play illegal D&D, I'd have to go get a permit that allows it to be played in certain hours, and then we'd have to break those hours. So
Do it, you won't.
it's a lot more of an ideal ordeal.
Nice.
Thank you.
Last time we played, we fought a dragon, and then we stopped fighting because they weren't genocidal. Turns out Dante was a fucking liar, or maybe not, and we'll fight dragons again. But anyways, you should know that we are going to kill all the dragons, because the dragons are all bad guys, because we are just the good guys.
That was pretty good.
Wow.
I'm
Well
proud
done,
of what we've
guys.
accomplished here.
Yeah, I'm proud of what we accomplished. Yeah, that was a good game.
Very solid stuff, yeah. Go ahead, take a couple levels. You know, really treat yourself today. You deserve it, champ.
Yeah.
Also, Billy is the dragon's hostage now, technically. So
Collateral.
collateral, yeah.
Man,
Hostage is an ugly word.
It was fun traveling with Billy.
Well, this was too hard, so I guess Billy will just have to stay forever.
I'll miss her.
Yes, well.
Quite.
Thank you
All
very much.
right, so
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I guess we're gonna bring Home Skillet back. I think first things first, we're gonna take a short rest because I need to get some shit back.
Oh yeah, I could use a short nap.
Right
and
here
we're
in the
short.
middle of this battlefield.
Yeah, we're with that fucking Rothgard guy. We're gonna manacle him. I forget what his real name is, but
I'm like,
What was it? Home Skillet? I think that was it.
obviously Rolfgard.
That's gonna be my third guess.
Was your second guess actually right?
I'll never tell.
Fair enough.
XOXO.
Yes, you are with Versaion. Versaion
yeah. So
and
Leopold
Brian.
is gonna be with us when we take our rest.
Okay. Yes, you may take a short rest.
I'm gonna start healing then.
Your rest. Your rest. Yeah, I'm gonna also roll a fucking hit die. Wow. All right, I am back at full. 'Cause I had only lost 1 hit point, and so basically, no matter what I rolled from, that shitty little 3d6.
Cool. I used most of my hit die to heal to full.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes,
Who knew
well,
that
at
a power
least you're
nap
at
could
full
fix a
now, so
broken
you'll be
spine?
okay. Hey. Wait. If I didn't declare last time, I am 100% making sure that I get my immovable rod back.
Okay.
Because that shit is a useful.
Useful. Oh, that wasn't on this character, that's why. That's fun.
Can I spend some of my short rest, like, just fastening a nice, convenient sling for my immovable rod? Because I feel like having that shit at the ready is a good idea.
Yeah. You can do that with a bit of rope.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be anything fancy, just, Leo. I do that.
Yeah, you short rest, and Leopold and the brain are also kind of resting, treating some wounds, bandaging, broken bones, getting CPR, that kind of stuff.
Right.
There we go. Okay. And so it'll be like an hour, and you can still hear the sounds of, like, the walls of the city being sieged in the background. And Jormonger walks over to you and goes, so are you ready to carry out this plan?
Yes, let's get on with it, I suppose. Are you ready, Harry?
What could possibly go wrong? Let's do it.
Well, if all else fails, you and I should at least be able to get out of this alive.
It has traditionally been the case, except that one time it wasn't for me.
Right, but I have always gotten out alive. So, well, I'm feeling confident at least.
Of course. Bradley, of course.
So, anywho, lead the way, Versaion.
I don't know where their camp is. You are the ones who have been to it.
You're very astute. And Brad will manacle him and start leading him back to the camp that they were at.
He squints his eyes at you like, what the fuck did I just get into?
Oh, you don't want to know, buddy.
Do you say that in his mind?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, after you say that, his eyes just go wide like, oh god. Meanwhile, Brain will be lowering his neck for Billy to clamber up.
She will do so.
Okie dokie. Yeah, there's a saddle, and once you're kind of in it, you have the option to strap your legs in, which would make it a lot easier, but you wouldn't be able to get out as easily.
I would like to strap my legs in, please. Thank you.
Very fair. And Brain will utter a growl to the two of you who are not named Billy, and say, if I detect any sort of betrayal from you three, your chances of getting out alive drop drastically.
Yes. Well, I understand that we have created a situation. Wait for our signal and it will be done. I'll be letting your friend, thing, companion, rider, king guy go when the time comes.
He lets out a hot snort of air from his nostrils and takes off into the air.
Brad will roll his eyes.
Bye, Billy.
Bye.
And then I will hop on the broom and we'll start heading into the camp.
Okay. Billy, is there anything you want to talk to Dragon about while you are flying?
Not while we're flying, just because I feel like Billy's having a hard enough time trying to stay on as it is.
That's fair. So in that case, fast forwarding, you are approaching the camp, and some of the dragonborns or half dragons outside of the camp are sort of looking at you, and you can see at least one of them is the one who kind of like saw you out of the camp, not the one who like led you, but they call out to, "What are you doing back here?"
We captured him. Get Dante.
You captured who? You weren't supposed to capture anyone.
Versaion. We have captured him.
Oh. Hold on a second. There were 3 of you before, and there's still only 3 of you. How do we know you didn't gussy up your friend to look like Versaion,
Because the asshole killed her.
A likely story. You don't seem all too upset by it, though.
You're an idiot, and I will talk to you no further. Get Dante now.
Yeah, how dare you act to us this way in our time of grief over our lost companion, you dipshit. She stomps her foot.
We're flying right now.
She does it anyways.
Deception check?
Oh, hell yeah.
Should I roll 2 or can I assist? Can I do something?
Yeah, roll to aid.
Okay.
I hope you roll really badly.
Well, 11 plus 12 is a 23.
No, badly.
Oh, well, I got a nat 1 for a 10, so.
I don't think you guys are quite understanding what I'm saying. All right. Well, especially with Allie's little harumph of an outbreak, he'll kind of be like, "All right, come on then." But I'm watching you. 2, 3. You. Well,
I'm watching you as well.
Good. Then we can watch each other.
Perfect. I love it. That's the exact thing that I was looking for.
Good. Yeah. Oh, actually, I can't. Well, I can't keep an eye on you and lead you to. And he turns to Allie. Can you watch him in my place so that I don't have to watch him while I'm walking? Is that good with you? Yeah.
You want me to watch Bradley? I can do that.
All right, perfect. All right, yeah. You watch him. He'll watch me. I'll watch where we're going. Onward. And he just all shadow of a doubt is like gone from this guy, and he's happily leading you through camp.
We're surrounded by idiots. She thinks to Bradley.
Brad will nod happily.
He'll lead you to that big tent again and be like, "All right, you two wait here, and I'm gonna go inside and get Dante for you guys, and you, the other one." He's pointing to you, Brad. Now I need you to keep an eye on her, who's keeping an eye on you for me in my place, sans you. Yes.
Absolutely perfect. Go and get Dante, and I will. As soon as he leaves, I'm going to pull Versarion's weapon out and place it sort of nearby me, but close enough that when I do uncuff him, he can easily get it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a greatsword too, so it's easy enough to bury like the tip in the ground and have it kind of standing, kind of like in front of him.
Make it look like, yeah, like I'm presenting. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing. You know, try and set
like
it
you're
up
presenting.
with yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Also, why don't the two of you roll me perception checks?
Oh, well.
Now that you're within this camp.
That isn't great. 7 plus 2 is 9.
21.
Okay. Brad, you can see that there are still quite a few people in this camp. Quite a few, I guess, now hostile forces. They're not like hostile towards you right now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Allie, you will notice that probably about half of them are like on lookout, sort of near the perimeter, and half of them seem to be milling about the camp, like performing basic duties, tying straps down and shit. And probably about half of those people are like watching your group. More curiously than anything, like and with your 21, you even hear like some of them kind of murmuring, "Do you speak Draconic?"
No, I do not.
Okay. They seem to be kind of like trying to puzzle something out. Like they're pointing at you and then like turning to each other and they'll
Ah, yes.
Sally points it out to Brad. Brad does speak Draconic.
100%. She thinks this information to you.
Okay. You could even kind of like repeat the stuff you hear, just onomatopoeia style. So you don't get quite everything to him, but Brad, you kind of get the sense that they're like, is that actually the king? Or like, who is that? who are these people? Like, some of you didn't even see you. They're like, why are there humans in our camp? So yeah, you have about a quarter of this camp kind of watching you. And half of the camp is kind of in close proximity. I would say you're able to see about 18 people total.
Righteous.
Plus however many are in tents, but obviously.
How far away are they?
The nearest ones would be about 30 feet.
Okay.
And they seem to be like packing up some of these nearby tents.
There's like a decent grouping of them.
I'd say there's 3 or 4 of them there.
That's
probably like
grouping.
Yeah, 3 or 4 of them are kind of like, I'd say about 60 feet away, but in a different direction.
I am also going to have my pouch instead of the bag of holding or not a bag of holding. They've always been in a pouch because otherwise they would fucking die. Are the centipedes still alive at this point? I guess is a better question. I don't remember how long it's been. It's been a while. They're probably pretty dead.
Let me check how long centipedes can live without food.
The suspense is killing me.
Perhaps a day at the most. Oh.
The suspense killed Aubrey. Oh, never mind.
Poor Aubrey. R.I.P.
R.I.P. and P. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I have not heard anything for like the past 2 minutes. What did I miss?
Oh,
centipedes.
They're in a camp. There's about 18 people that they can see. half of them are keeping guard, and then half of the other half are like watching them.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm listening.
And it takes about a day without food for a centipede to die. And while there was probably
Cool.
a little bit of grass in those jars, it's been like a month. So they are dead centipedes now. I'm sorry for your loss.
Rip to the centipedes.
They will go into the bag of holding. That's fair.
By the way, did you ever pull that? Yeah, you did pull the woman out of the bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we pulled the corpses out.
Just wanted to double check that. Because I
We
thought
left them in the Underdark.
That's right.
It's a gift. There you go.
Thank you for not killing all of us. I'll leave this here as a treat.
Mm-hmm. Like a cat bringing home dead mice.
So yeah, it will not be too long. 30, maybe 45 seconds. You can hear some mumbling inside the tent. You can't make out what they're saying. But then the little tent flap will be thrown aside and Dante will stride out and say, "So, you couldn't bring yourselves to kill him, eh?"
We had a few questions.
All right, then.
So, you remember when you said that you were the non-genocidal ones, right?
I believe that was more inferred, but yes.
I see. Well, that's probably going to do with the line of questioning then. We brought him back because, well, I don't think that this is really going to work for me. And Brad will try and sleight of hand unlock the cuffs of Versaion.
Okie dokie. Give me that sleight of hand. Boing. Oh, okay. I don't think you're gonna fail.
I don't think so either.
I rolled really badly.
I got an 18.
I don't think I have a plus 13 perception. Okay. I rolled really poorly. So yeah, you are able to unlock the cuffs. Versaion is still holding his hands behind his back.
And then I will cast Shatter on that group that is nearby at 5th level.
Okay.
Oof.
Roll that damage for me.
Oh, you're not even going to have them save?
Well, I want to know how much it's going to be. To see if saving is going to matter.
Gotcha. That's going to be...
Okay. This is the wrong notebook.
27 is the maximum.
Okay. Shatter does not throw back. So I think one of them crumples to the ground as though all of his bones have shattered inside of his body. Two of them look very, very perturbed at this. And are very injured. And one of them is kind of braces himself. as he kind of like saw the magic like start. He was one of the ones watching you and was like, oh fuck. And he is fine and kind of lets out like a roar. You speak Draconic, so you hear him say battle stations.
Oh.
But yeah, one of them is fully dead. Two of them are just barely hanging on. And one of them, I mean, is pretty beat up, but
We got a badass over here.
Okay. However, what's his face? Dante will sort of sigh as you do that and say, I should have known that you'd break our contracts. Luckily, even if you win here, the collateral damage will be high. For you. And he takes one swipe at Versaion with his axe. Okay. And it's now that Versaion kind of ducks out of the way and grabs his longsword, just barely avoiding the blow. And I guess roll initiative.
All right.
Great,
I
can't wait for
wait
this.
for Billy to swoop in on a dragon. I would assume that the shatter was loud enough for the dragon to hear.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay.
Oh shit. Everything's coming up Chuffton.
Oh, holy shit.
Oh, maybe not.
No, I was looking for my notebook that had all of their like ACs, HPs, all that, and I could not for the life of me find it because I had already pulled it out. I was like digging through my backpack, like where the fuck? Yeah, and if you can type them into chat, that would be wunderbar.
I assume, Aubrey, you should roll initiative as well, since you're going to be on the dragon later.
Should I?
Yeah, go for it. That's what I was looking for. Boy, I am just having a day right now. Okay. There is that. And there is that. Perfect. Okay. Versaion. Ooh. Okay. Dante. There is 5, so it's going to be a 16. Versaion is +0, so 17. And dragon. Okay. Okay. Sorry, forces. Dragon, 9. Okay. Realized that was probably not a good noise for my mic. Oh, and Garrett. I almost forgot to roll for Garrett.
He's here too.
He is technically here too. He's gonna be after Brad. All right, so it will be Brad, Garrett, Versaion, Dante, followed by Ella's name is Aubrey, which is Billy, Dragon. And okay. Place that here. Perfect. Okay. Brad, you are the first one up. Brad, you are the first one up.
2 seconds, sorry. Okay. So
Yeah.
I am going to cast my 1/6 level spell, and it will be Chain Lightning, and the first target will be Dante, and then the big guy who you said is 30 feet away, right? Like, or not the big guy, but the hurt guy, you know what I mean? You said there were two other guys of that group that were still up, right?
There was 3 of them. One of them was less injured than the other 2.
Okay, so the one that was less injured, and then one of the other 2, and Dante, all must make me a DC 18 dexterity saving throw.
Okay. You can only hit 3 with that?
At this level, yeah. I can only do, oh no! As many as 3 other targets. So, I can get Dante and all 3 of the other ones. At higher levels, it goes more.
Awesome. Cool. Sorry. Dante, pass. Bigger one. Fail. The other 2 are not going to have enough HP to survive that either way.
All right, so half damage if they passed.
Which is 24?
Yes.
So this strikes Dante, and you see him sort of almost shake it off as it clashes against his copper scales, and it arcs off to hit this other small group, and the 3 that are left standing are not left standing anymore. The rest of the camp seems fairly alerted and is kind of making their way towards you, but they are also much slower to respond.
And then
you hear a voice from above call down, "Triple kill."
Is there how far away from, like, is what's his face right on me, Dante?
So it is Dante, then Versaion, and then you. Pretty much in like a line, just 5 by 5 by 5.
Okay, I will then, as my bonus action, give Bardic Inspiration to Allie for whatever you would like to do. You have a D8 now.
Ooh,
extra.
fancy.
And then can I move past Versaion without taking an attack of opportunity, or no? Or not Versaion, but Dante?
Yeah.
Without taking an attack of opportunity? Because then I would like to do that. I'll move my full movement out into the area to kind of assess the situation.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. After you is Garrett. Garrett is going to he's a little bit embarrassed that he just got absolutely yeeted and deleted last fight, so he is going to charge forward with newfound vigor and attempt to stab the big bad. And one of those manages to hit. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm done.
Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, he kind of stabs forward once, and he gets you see a small little spurt of blood as he kind of gets him against the side, but then he's almost surprised that he was able to land the attack so easily, and the momentum kind of carries him forward, and he just kind of tries to slap at him with the flat of his rapier, and it doesn't go great, but yeah.
No, hit him with the pointy end. What are you doing?
His face goes red. Next up is Versaion. He, similar to in the fight against you, he grows in size up to a large-sized creature. And oh fuck, I've got to grab another book because I forgot to. But it's right here. I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'm used to being disappointed.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll fit right in.
Boy howdy.
He enters a rage. And as he does so... This sort of sandy dirt that you are standing on suddenly sprouts flowers growing up all around you. And their petals are sort of shimmering as though they are dewy.
Okay.
But that is all he can do this round. So he got really big and he grew a bunch of flowers around him.
Nice. I had a nickel.
Yeah. Which brings us to Dante. And he is going to actually turn towards you, Brad.
Oh, cute.
Thank God you said Brad.
He sort of levels his axe towards you, and you'll feel deep in your bones this sharp ping of magic. And he is going
spell?
It is not a spell.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
You were just feeling the pull of your patron from this weapon.
Oh.
And he is going to take one step towards you, and you see that his feet are like sticking to the flowers around him, and it actually makes it really difficult for him to walk.
You got sticky flowered! Ha! The oldest trick in the book!
Got him.
And Versaion starts to take a swing at him, and then Dante just like jumps and rips up these flowers like by the root, still like clinging to the base of his legs. And he lands right in front of you, Brad. And he's gonna take some swings.
Okay. I anticipate casting shield.
Okay. First one is going to be a 21.
That's going to be a big old shield dog. So that'll be a miss.
Okay. Then second one, that's rough. Oh my god, one less.
That'll be a big old miss.
Okay. So yeah, he swings twice at you, and you can see that there is this strange red glow, like, emanating from his eyes that definitely wasn't there when you were talking to him or even fighting him before.
Yes, all right. Stop it.
Billy, from up in the clouds where Brian has been circling around near where this camp is, you hear this loud crack of thunder.
Oh, geez.
I guess not thunder. You're a wizard, you know. This sounds like the shatter spell.
Oh, great. Someone just cast shatter. I bet it's Brad. Don't worry, Rain. It's probably not on who you think it is.
He kind of responds that and says that Versaion has not been injured.
Yeah, I don't think that Brad would cast a spell like that on somebody who couldn't eat, who was shackled. Like that. I don't think he would.
But the fighting has started.
Yeah, definitely.
And he starts to free fall.
He starts to free fall.
Mm-hmm.
She's just so. He starts to free fall, and it's like that. And it's like how, like in old cartoons, you don't start falling until you look down. So she just kind of like they start falling, and she's like, "Oh, okay. I guess are we doing this now? Okay."
We must join them.
Well, yeah, of course. I just a little bit of warning would have been nice.
You are rapidly approaching the tree line and thus the ground. And the last thing that he responds with is okay. Was the shatter not enough warning for you?
It was, but I just didn't think you were gonna free fall about it.
You will fall into just below the tree line and roll a perception check.
Well, 13.
Okay. You're pretty quickly able to see Brad standing kind of out in the open. Dante standing right next to him. Not too far away is a very large Versaion with a weird circle of flowers around him. With Allie and Garrett fairly close to them. You're about 20 feet off the ground.
Okay, how close are we to them?
Pretty close. I'd say 40 feet. Including the diagonal.
Cool. So I would like to cast on Dante.
Uh-huh.
Snowball Swarm at the 4th level. It is a 5-foot cube.
Mm-hmm.
Or a 5-foot sphere. Centered on him.
I'm in direct combat with him yet again.
Motherfucker, can you stop getting up on people so I can do some cool spells, please? Thank you.
You can still do it. That's fine.
Yeah, what would Brad do?
I'm going to. I'm going to, but I am going to use 2 sorcery points to cast it carefully.
Boo.
Hey.
So, yeah. All right, and he needs to make a dexterity saving throw, please. Thank you.
Dex save. Okay. Bad. Bad, not good. What does he take?
He takes 5d6 cold damage. So, oh wait, I said at the 4th level, not the 5th level. Okay. So that is going to be... He takes 18 cold damage, and then there's an after effect. No, I was mistaken. Just the cold damage.
18 cold damage. Okay. Yeah, these snowballs materialize sort of around where the flowers are, like the edge of the flowers, and begin pelting Dante, who does not respond well to that. Which brings us to forces. So some of these men have finally made their way somewhat close. There's going to be 2 crossbow bolts aimed at Bradley. 1 at Allie. And 2 at Versaion. All right, those don't hit Brad because your AC is still like 25 right now, right?
It's 22.
Oh, yeah,
Right now.
Neither of those is going to come close to hitting.
Okay.
Yeah, both rolls were under a 10. Allie, does a 14 hit you?
It does not. Wow. Nice.
Okay. Neither of those hit you. And one of them seems to kind of start going towards you, Allie, but it actually ends up clipping into the shoulder of giant Versaion. And from behind him, you can now see the head of this crossbow bolt. Oh, fuck. As it pierced straight through him. Okay. Dragon Boy is going to break out of this free fall with Billy in tow. And he sort of just sweeps over the camp. And Billy, from where you are seated, you will hear this faint lightning crackle, followed by a massive thunder peal, similar to the one that rocked your socks off. And 3 of the Dragonborn guards are going to just get launched ragdolling through the air.
Good job, Brain. That's pretty super cool when you do that. Not gonna lie.
He lets out a snort, but you can tell he's still kind of like pleased to be getting praise.
Like, good job. Like, kind of like the way you would a big dog. Like,
just punching him right in the side of the head. Allie. It is your turn.
Great. Good. I'm pumped for this. So, I see that there's a listing for troops in Yield Initiative list. Can you tell me what that looks like currently? How many there are, where they're congregated, how many are congregated together, that sort of fun stuff.
All right. So there were 9 of them manning outpost along the perimeter, and they are kind of coming in. So they are all like single man. There was 4 of them by the nearby fire, which Brad killed. There were 3 behind the tent, which Brian just killed. So there's another 2 of them sort of behind you, which would be on your side of the fight, pretty much. And one of them is the one who just shot a crossbow bolt at you.
Son of a bitch.
And there's another one with him who has drawn a very curved sword.
All right, outside of those 2, does it look or seem like we should expect more company if this lasts a few more rounds, or?
Yeah, you can see from where you're at, you can see probably 4 other ones running in that were like the perimeter guards. but they are not like together at all. They're probably like 100 feet away from each other and maybe 200 feet from you right now.
Okay. Okay. Then why don't we deal with the two goons, I guess? What Ellie's going to do is she's going to take to the sky.
Okay.
She's going to fly upwards at a diagonal so that she's within 90 feet of the two guys that you just described.
Okay.
And she's gonna fuck up their days just a little bit by casting black tentacles.
Oh. I believe that is a strength save, correct?
Yeah, let's see. When a creature enters the affected area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, the creature must succeed on a dex saving throw or take damage and be restrained.
So only when they start their turn, not when it's cast?
When they enter it for the first time or start their turn. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when it's cast would count. I would say that would count as when they enter it for the first time, right?
I guess. I don't see why not. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It'll affect them before they get to act either way, so.
Well, I can tell you both of them are going to fail that.
Neat.
Yeah. So
Great.
They're what, restrained? Or
They
do take
are
damage?
restrained and they take damage.
Oh. Okay, how much damage do they take?
3d6. 9.
9. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they're both trying to break free of this grasp, fidgeting uncomfortably. You hear some popping, like joints being popped out of like dislocated.
Yes.
But no super heavy damage to them. But they are tied up at the moment. And I believe that brings us back around to Brad, correct? Yep. Bradley.
Cool, yeah.
Angry boy staring you down.
Well, it would seem that it is fitting we would do it like this, I guess. And so Brad will pull out his sword, and I guess we are fighting.
We are fighting? Yeah.
We are fighting. 16 on the first one.
Nope.
All right. 26 on the second one.
26 will hit.
Awesome. Then I will also use the bonus to throw on one of my lovely Bardic Inspiration things to add extra damage, and also add to my so my armor class is now a 22, and he will take so it'll be, hold on, sorry, so it'll be 20 slashing damage and 6 lightning damage.
Okay. So 26 total on that boy?
Yes.
Yee. Yeah, he looking bad. He not looking great. Is that your full turn?
Yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, as you stab into him, yeah, he definitely lets out this howl, and his eyes start to glow even more red. And Garrett, seeing that you don't seem to be in any immediate danger, is going to sort of loop around back towards Allie. And he calls out to you, Brett. Do let me know if you need a spot of health there, Bradley.
I'll be fine, thank you. Make sure that Allie doesn't get any more depressed than she already is. It's really quite a lot.
I just hate dying.
I understand, and we're trying to avoid that, Allie.
Good.
Yes, well.
Quite.
He turns back towards you and goes, yes, well, and his hand crossbow goes off. Fires right into Allie's foot.
No.
Oh, God.
For 6 damage.
Fucking
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot of damage. I hope you realize this means you're not getting paid.
When that happens, he like takes the hand crossbow and just throws it into the ground and stomps it and crushes it. It's like, I didn't even pull the oh shit, I'll fix that. I'll fix you up. Don't just give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm adding him to the list.
Viserys is going to run towards Dante. And he is going to swing twice. Boy, and he ain't gonna hit, is he? It doesn't matter what set of dice I use. I just am not allowed to ever hit anyone. Oh, but I can force myself to reroll one of these. Huzzah!
Ah, yes. Cheating. Very nice.
It is very nice. I won't lie. So make sure he doesn't have anything. Yeah. So, you see him swing twice, and the first one goes wide as it kind of swings over your head, Brad. And then the second one looks like it's also going to be high on the sort of swing back. And at the last second, he's able to just angle it downwards and slice into him. And when he hits Dante with this greatsword, these fiery manacles burst out of the ground and start to try to latch up onto Dante, who does immediately break the chains, but you do see him take a little bit of scorchy scorch around his like his wrists where they grabbed onto him. Holy shit. 18, 23 plus 5? 28 damage? Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, yeah. So this one hit just sends a splatter of blood spraying across pretty much your whole area. If you'd like to make a dex save to try and avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Brad.
That's why I offered.
That would be a 24.
Yeah, you're able to kind of like just like lean behind Versaion as the splatter comes, and like you look and you see that like you're standing in a bit of a puddle, and you're like,
damn it all!
Um, and it is Dante's turn, which is going to mean that as he opens his mouth and this strange wind comes out and kind of blows around you and Viserys Bread, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I'm good at those. 19.
19 will pass. Versaion will not, though. And you see this sort of frost creep around on Visarion's armor, and as he's sort of like getting back to like a neutral position from his sword swing, you can just like hear his bones creaking, and like he just seems to be like moving through molasses.
Shit.
And with that, Versaion is going to brace himself. I'm sorry, not Versaion. Dante is going to brace himself and then swing once at you and once at the king.
Excellent.
That is a 18 to hit you.
Nope. Can I riposte?
You can.
I'm going to then.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, that's a 27 to hit.
Yep.
Alright. That'll be. Oh wait. That'll be just there. So that'll be for 12 slashing and 3 lightning. 15 in all.
Okay. Yeah, you get this good hit on you, and he howls and swings down on the king, and there is a large smattering of blood as it hits into the king. Oh yeah, quite large. 15, that's 20 damage from him. And when it hits, you see this magical glow around the axe. And it matches the glow in Dante's eyes, and he howls as though he's in pain. And almost as though his body is moving on its own, it swings again at the king.
Yes.
Actually, that one might not hit. Let me double check. Oh, that will. And another sporting of blood as he just gets him twice across the chest. And I have to roll the guns here. Okay. And once again, he's just screaming. Dante is, as though he's like out of his mind with rage or pain or something. And he swings again.
Double gasp.
This time at you and the king. That's a 24.
That will hit. Nothing I can do this time. I use my reaction.
Okay. For another 20 damage.
Okay.
But as that happens, you also see like scales falling off of Dante's face and hands, and like blood seeming to sort of seep out from his armor. through cracks where he hasn't been hit, like in the elbow joints and the knee joints. Okay. And he swings once more, but it just goes straight into the dirt. And seems to like stick there for a second.
That'll show the ground.
Billy, you are still on top of this dragon.
Okay.
And even with the wind rushing like through your ears, you're able to hear Dante howling.
Jeez, what is this dude going through? After what my party is throwing at him, we're gonna try to. Well, I should say. Well, should I say our party now? Never mind. We're gonna take a third. She's gonna do a third level magic missile.
Okay. At whom?
Dante. Because it was gonna be a 5th level vitriolic sphere, but once again, Bradley is right there. So that's 12d4 damage. So we're gonna do 3rd level. So that's all 3s. So that's 8, 16. All right, that's 16 damage to him. Just boop, boop, boop. Magic missile.
16?
Correct. That's what she said. 16.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. You fire off these tiny little spheres of force. Bop, 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 bop. And they end up kind of like pegging him right in the back. And he just doesn't respond to that at all.
Uh-oh. I feel like he's about to pull a Hail Mary. She's saying this to Brain.
He does not seem right. He seems as though he's being forced to do these attacks. Something is not right with him. Brings us to the
Trying to
troops.
dispel magic.
Allie, the 2 troops who are inside of your Boople sphere, one of them did fail.
If they start their turn in an area that is and they're already restrained, they take damage.
Oh, okay. But one of them is able to break free after?
Yeah, they can use either a strength or dex check afterwards.
Okay.
To try to break out. It's only 6 damage.
Okay. Well, they both take 6 damage. And one of them is still wrapped up in these tendrils. The other one's able to fight his way out. I believe that's an action, though, to break out, correct?
Can use its action to make a strength or dex check. Yep, you're correct.
Excellent. So yeah, he breaks out and he like runs out of the area of these tentacles and starts like just gasping. Meanwhile, the border troops are still rushing in. They fire a volley of arrows as they run, but none of you are going to get touched by that. So arrows kind of peg the ground as some of these troops continue to move in. I believe that brings us to Dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon.
Hello, it's me, Dragon. Okay. Brian turns to, or kind of roars out to Billy. I think we should clear up the perimeter troops and make sure they don't interfere. And he swoops down, catches one of the perimeter guards in his mouth, and like swipes another one with his tail. And then as he kind of like swoops back up, he just kind of like throws the other guard out to let him fall to his untimely death.
Goodbye.
So he takes out two of the perimeter guards. And then it is Allie's turn.
Nice. Great. First order of business. I guess she's on cleanup duty, so she's going to use Eldritch Blast to shoot the guy who escaped the tentacles. At least one. Okay. We'll see if she needs both. That's a 19 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Only for 6 damage, though.
Okay. Yeah, he's on all fours at this point. But he's still breathing.
Okay. But he looks like really, really bad.
Yeah, like he just escaped these tentacles, then gets hit, and he was already like, he had his hands on his knees. He gets hit in the gut, and he just like falls onto like all fours, like.
Okay, then do something a little bit weird. She's going to just like yell out to him, hoping that he can maybe understand Common, and tell him to run while he's still alive. And she's going to shoot her other blast at Dante.
Okay.
That's only a 12 to hit, though.
Roll your inspiration. You still have it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, let's hope for a high roll. No, that brings me to a 14. Good call, though.
14 will not hit, unfortunately. The one on his hands and knees, though, will call back in broken Common out. Can't run, but going.
I won't shoot you, just leave.
You can see him starting to like crawl on all fours away from you, and then sees that he's about to crawl back into the tentacles, and he like doesn't really know what to do, so he just like falls on the ground like spread eagle.
Yeah, that's fine.
I live here now. Brad, you are standing in front of this cut up, bewilderedly bleeding Dante, who also just used a breath weapon and swung at you like 7 times.
Brad is going to grab the weapon with both hands, and he will swing twice.
Okie doke.
21 on the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, nat 20 on the second one.
Nice.
Okay.
Woo!
So... Oh, shit, I'm using 2 hands. I gotta grab a D10. 1 second. So, on the first one, it'll be 7 lightning damage and 15 slashing. And then the second one is the crit. It will be 14, so 28 slashing damage and 16 lightning.
How would you like to kill him?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stab him once, and then in like a very fanciful sort of way, I'm going to take the immovable rod off of my back and use it sort of like a pole to spin around on to like get some extra momentum. And just fucking bury this sword into him.
Pull someone to death, Tim.
Yes, you can. You asked how I wanted to do this.
Yeah. It's in the description of bards. They can do that, actually.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair.
Yeah. Great.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that. And Dante is dead where he stands. I missed the ending of your speech because I was cackling about you swinging around like a...
Oh, just burying the fucking sword into him, that's all. Yeah, nothing special.
So yeah,
it was more about the stripper pole than anything.
Right, I just wanted to make sure he is buried like up to the hilt on your sword. Garrett slaps Allie and uses his lay on hands to heal the damage that he did to her.
Thanks.
Sorry about that. I get it.
This never happens to you, right? First time? Weird, huh?
I've been meaning to replace it for a while, actually. I just hadn't really been fighting anything.
A tale
lately.
as old as time, Garrett. Keep telling yourself that. She pats him on the shoulder after he heals her.
Barely even
pick up that axe.
Then somebody bet. Wait, what?
I mean, Bradley was certainly bending, but not in the way anybody expected.
You see Versaion kind of shrinks back to normal Versaion sized, and is just kind of like, oh, there's still some guards to clean up, but I think we can make short work of them between all of us, and, well, Brian's having his fun. I say we leave him be.
Agreed.
And as you reach to grab the axe, Dante grabs your arm.
Yes.
I need you to roll a strength saving throw, please.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you about not being good at those.
Oh my god, a saving throw that Brad isn't good at?
That is an 11.
Okay. Yeah, you feel him grab your arm with such ferocity that you actually feel like your wrist, like bones in your wrist cracking. As you take 11 damage.
Okay.
Bludgeoning, if that matters.
No, it doesn't.
And he pulls you in real close to you and growls in Draconic, which you at this point might think that it's just him going to default in these last death throws, but he says, this will consume you, and your friends will die. And then you feel the weight of his body fall, but you see that his hand is still grabbed onto your wrist.
Brad will pry it off and say, "Good talk."
Okay.
And I will pick up the axe.
Brain continues sweeping around the camp, slapping at any soldiers that he can. He lands directly on top of one and like pins him to the ground and lets out just like a little snort of thunder, and just buries this dude into the soft dirt and then like takes off gleefully. Billy just being pulled along like a Nantucket sleigh ride.
Oh, she's here for it. She is still strapped to his back on this saddle. She's going like, "Get that one. Okay, now do that again. That was cool." Okay.
Meanwhile, Versaion will turn to to Bradley and Allie and Garrett, I guess.
He's here too.
And say, I'm not entirely certain what possessed this man so, but he seemed a bit unhinged.
Oh, you noticed that too?
Well, yes, up until this point in the war, he had been something of a terror for his tactics and his wit, but he seemed a man possessed. I would be careful with that weapon that you picked up.
Oh, I'm not going to use it. It just adds to the power of this sword.
Right. Well, the war may not be over, but that is a hefty blow in the face of the insurrection.
Well, promise that you're going to be nice to the elves, right?
Of course, I've never held any quarrel with the elves.
Perfect. So long as you're nice to them, we're good.
And also, like, if they get in trouble, protect them.
I will do my best. Yes. For what you have done today, I will offer them every protection that I can. Whether they accept it or not is up to them, of course. They can be a stubborn lot, but I think what you have done here has gone a long way in potentially repairing some broken bonds between our peoples.
May we take the camp spoils?
Well, let me double check that he doesn't have any notes on him about his remaining forces, but...
We only want valuables, not information.
He has that look on his face like, is he saying that information isn't valuable? It doesn't matter. Simpletons in their money. Simpletons in their money. Okay. Like, just, of course, yes. Not the information, just what's valuable. Of course, yes. Help yourself to his arms and armaments, as well as anything you find in the camp. Supplies my men will need, but outside of that, the rest can be yours.
Perfect. I'm looking for gold, magic, weapons, anything that can be smelted down and sold.
And I'll help.
Very well then. He begins patting down Dante from somewhere within the armor. He will pull a very blood-soaked scroll of paper. I'll say, and he like unfurls it, and it's just dripping. And he's like, "That's disturbing and regrettable. I'm going to check what I'm assuming is his war tent." And he enters the tent. At which point,
I'm gonna go and check other tents that he's not in.
Okay. Brain is going to land and allow Billy to dismount.
Not that I was muted, she will do so.
Okay.
Billy!
Hi, guys.
Did you have fun?
I did.
That's good.
That was fun, Brain.
Yes. I have not had reason to get quite so close to combat in a good while. Also, your
It's
world
nice
is
sometimes.
your world's a little spinning as he was basically just flying in circles for the past like half hour. But it's not too bad. Yeah. And he will say, the four of you proved very formidable in battle. I hope should another crisis occur within our kingdom, we might be able to call on you again.
Perhaps it depends on what we're doing at the time, but if we're not busy, yes, I suppose that would be okay.
Fantastic. I'll make certain in that event that you are well compensated.
Brad will explain where the manor is near Magnes so that if he does need to send a messenger, they'd be able to kind of find it.
Or if you ever want to come stay.
I fear we will be busy for the foreseeable future with the reclamation and reunification of our country. But in the future, if we are able.
Everyone needs vacations.
Indeed.
Yep.
And he sort of just starts like prowling around the war tent where Versaion is rummaging through. Why don't all of you roll investigation checks? Or perception if it's better.
Oh boy, is it? Let's see.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
17.
Okay.
Perception. Oh, no. 8.
Okay.
At a 7.
Almost a crit. Not quite.
I even used guidance. Both my D20 and my D4 came up with a 1.
Okay. And what would each of you sort of be looking for in terms of spoils of war?
Electrums.
Okay. That I should have known. Billy, how about you?
Billy will probably be looking for spell scrolls of some kind.
Okay.
Spell scrolls, really anything magical. Plus maybe a draconic dictionary.
Okay. Brad, you are looking for...
I am looking for any sort of ornate armor, weapons, anything that looks ancestral and passed down, and definitely not from, like standard issue quartermaster stuff. I'm looking for money, everything down to the last fucking copper. I am also, if there's any bullion or anything like that, or if there's iron ingots or anything that seems like it could be valuable in trade or whatnot, like Brad is going to be stuffing the bag of holding until, obviously starting with the most valuable things first and then moving his way down until we're full.
Okay, so starting with the most important person, Garrett. He begins leaning down towards the sticky flowers and sort of investigating them. And he like rubs his hands across the petals and they just sort of glisten. And he says, like out loud, if anyone cares, he's like, this is fascinating. They seem to not quite have a will of their own, but they're only adhesive towards people they deem a threat. Wonderful little things, aren't they? Perhaps I will attempt to grow some of these around our village. Yes, they might. It seems they'll grow nicely in the swamps, actually. Oh, how lovely. And he scoops up a couple like pots worth of flowers.
Nice. Allie gives him a thumbs up. And then thinks to Brad that because he shot her and he's collecting flowers, we probably shouldn't pay him anymore.
This is fair.
Allie, you don't find any Electrum coins, but one of the half dragon's plate armor looks like it had like a bite taken out of it at some point, and it was like patched up with Electrum metal.
Okay. So it's plate mail with an Electrum patch?
Yeah. Specifically the like the pauldron area.
Oh, okay.
So if you would like to take that.
Can I just write like Electrum pauldron in my inventory?
Yeah, it'll be what would that be? 6 gold. So 12 Electrum worth of Electrum pauldron.
Great.
So if you also just want to convert it.
Oh, I can just go ahead and straight convert it.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. Thank you. Help simplify my life.
Billy, you do find a dictionary, but it's actually like draconic to common rather than the other way around. So it's
sick.
Yeah, it's as if like one of these soldiers only spoke draconic and he used this as like a phrase book.
Aw.
So you would kind of have to like reverse engineer things before you can actually use it. But
Okay.
yeah, you could attempt to learn draconic from it if you really want to study it.
Heck yeah.
Perhaps in some downtime, which you guys never take.
We'll make our own quest, damn it.
God damn
In our
it.
defense, this was supposed to be downtime, and we were supposed to just be visiting Allie's mom,
This
but
whole thing was supposed to be downtime.
The downtime is a lie.
So was the college.
I mean, we're gonna actually have downtime this time though, because Brad is going to make Jim Mendez help him smelt down everything and make it into ingots so we can go and sell it.
Mm-hmm. I believe this. Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we get distracted, then we might go do that, and then we'll come back to the ingots.
Hell yeah. That's the spirit.
Brad, you are able to find among all of the bodies, as well as some like saddlebags, which seems really weird because they don't really have any beasts of burden around, but maybe they ran away. Or maybe a group left with them once the siege was set up. Anyway, you were able to find 26 gold pieces worth of coins. You were also able to find 2 full sets of half plate that don't look like they are patchwork or anything. You also find one set of ceremonial plate mail, which will be an extra 200 gold onto the value of plate mail. And rather ironically, one scroll of Dragon's Breath.
I'm into it.
Other than that, there's armor pieces that you could take for leather. A few like chainmail shirts and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna take all of the swords, all of the, you know what I mean, like the spearheads, all of that shit. I'm gonna just fill up the bag of holding.
Yeah, you have one bag of holding of metal scrap, minus whatever you've got.
Awesome.
I
mean, that's like 1,000 pounds of metal scrap, so.
Right, yeah.
I'll help you carry some.
I mean, it's not heavy because it's in a bag of
1,001
holding.
pounds of metal scrap. Yeah. So, once you guys have kind of that's pretty much everything that is valuable in this area. Oh, actually, Dante's armor, I forgot to say. It is primarily... Oh, it's scale mail, actually. It is copper scale mail.
That's so cool.
To match his pretty scales.
All right. Billy, could you take us home, please?
Wait 1 second. Perhaps you could drop me off at the Elven Village first?
Oh, perfect. Yes, we can do that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. I know I wasn't a tremendous help. I am frankly embarrassed.
Here's the thing, Garrett. We're not going to pay you, but
That's
your area is in a better state for your deeds, whether they were as helpful as you were hoping or not. So, good chap, I suppose.
I thank you, Mr. Bradley. You're nicer than you seem to let on.
Fuck off. You
Right?
don't
I
know.
keep telling him this.
If everyone keeps talking about being nice, we're going to leave Garrett here.
It's not
Brad,
as
I'll
if
get
I
out of
like
the
you
room
or
angrily.
anything.
Billy, Billy would like to go over and say bye to Bran before we leave. By the way, just keep going, but that's on the docket.
Oh, you know what? You know what Allie wants to do before we leave? The that one dude that she spared. Is he still alive and laying there?
He is,
Absolutely.
yeah.
She's gonna go over to him and offer him a brand new life. Away from war.
So when you go over, he's like lying face down, spread eagled with his tongue out. What do you say to him?
Sorry we had to destroy your camp. But if you're still alive and want to get away from war and start a new life, I can lead you to that.
He like peeks an eye open and then like closes it again like really tight and then like peeks it back open. He's like, how? Where?
Do you know how to serve food and keep rooms tidy?
I?
You?
Yes. I can.
She holds out a hand and says, well then, come with me if you want to live.
He'll kind of reach an arm out. and weakly take your hand.
Okay, now you have to do most of the work standing up because I'm not that strong.
Oh, God. All of my insides feel like they were squeezed into jelly.
So your insides feel like outsides, is what you're saying.
I will cast a Cure Light Wounds on him and get 8 points back.
Allie's gonna think to this dude. She's gonna think to this dude, don't tell him that he's nice. Whatever you do, just go with it.
Okay.
That's coming out of your first paycheck.
What?
Your first paycheck. At the manor, the bed and breakfast that you're going to be working at. That healing spell is coming out of your first paycheck. We'll sign the contract back at the manor.
He looks very confused, but he is not going to argue with you.
I'll pat his shoulder and say, good lad, into the cauldron with you. And he'll motion towards Billy.
He gets a very concerned look at that.
It's a mortar and pestle. Don't worry. It's a whole thing. I'll explain when we get back to the manor. Just 1 second, Bradley, and she will go over to say bye to Bran. Just be like, okay.
Farewell, small one.
That was fun.
Yes, you were exceedingly easy to defeat in battle, and also quite excitable. It was an interesting experience, to say the least. But
I'm going to choose to take the excitable thing as a compliment.
You were also able to somehow survive, both having your body ravaged by thunder and then a 90-foot fall, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. Let me tell you something. We get up to some crazy shit with this group. Both of those things were a direct result of that.
He opens his mouth as if he's going to say something and then just slowly closes it and nods to you. Take care.
Okay, and she'll do a shallow bow because she knows the dragons like respect.
I love how, like a Suikoden game, we are just collecting staff for our bed and breakfast.
I love it. I love this shit.
Maybe the real spoils of war are the slaves we find along the way.
Hey, we pay them, Eric.
That makes them better than your party members.
Actually, yes.
It's okay. I don't need money. It's fine.
Very well. So you all pile into the Super Nintendo?
Boy, howdy.
Yeah, we're gonna drop off Garrett and then head back to the manor.
Yes.
Okay.
And by drop off, we mean slow down and push out.
Okay.
No.
That's not true. That's not true. We stop and let him out.
All right. You pile into the Super Nintendo, and as you are slowly getting used to, unlike this Dragonborn that you have just recruited, who is terrified, you pass into a different dimension, and whoosh!
It's okay. Allie, what's this guy's name? What's your name, sir?
Got him.
That's a weird name. We're gonna call you for short.
He starts patting his like at his pockets and his little pouch, and turns to Allie and screws up his face like he's thinking really hard.
So Billy is now doing the equivalent of the thing where she's driving with her knees, essentially. And, she's gonna pull out the draconic dictionary. I almost said dragonbornish. The draconic dictionary, and just kind of point at it.
It takes him a second, but he sees it and his face lights up, and he starts flipping through the pages and then says, "Not great at common. Still,
I speak Draconic. You can just tell me in that if you would like."
Do you say that in common or in Draconic?
In Draconic.
Okay. He says, "Oh, thank you. Sorry. What did she say?"
She wants to know what your name is. I also would like to know your name.
Because in the slang where I'm from, she said a bunch of gibberish and then balls and then a bunch of more gibberish, and it was very and not the point. My name is well, it translates to mighty toothed. So I suppose you could call me maybe.
We'll call you MT.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Empty. Perfect.
You did this to yourself. Okay, empty.
Have we arrived at the manor yet? Okay.
Oh, not at the manor. At the elven place.
Oh, okay. Right.
Which, without a perception check, you guys can tell is not much of a place anymore. So much as it is charred land surrounded by brackish water.
I think we took a wrong turn.
Well, considering this is a magical device that doesn't air, no, we didn't.
Garrett is fairly speechless as he sort of climbs out of the cauldron.
Ellie jumps out. She runs into the wreckage.
There's a lot of ash. And you know, some poles where there used to be tent posts buried into the ground. But that's a little bit closer to like a charred off stake at this point.
Yeah, I think she's looking for signs of people or bodies.
Roll an investigation check for me.
Don't mind if I do. Which I'm sounding a little bit more chipper than I should, but you know, whatever.
Hell yeah.
16.
Okay.
I'll help her with that if that's something.
Sure. Also roll an investigation.
Okay. Was pretty good at investigation. That's a 17.
Okay, so 18 then for Allie. Allie, as you're kind of walking through the ash, you find several evidences of bodies, including, I would say probably 2 almost full charred skeletons. And Garrett is kind of looking around the other like side of the camp, and you hear him kind of like pushing through some of the ash. You see him like on his knees, and he's kind of like reaches out for something in the in this pile, and then goes, it's still hot. And he like wraps his hand in a piece of cloth and picks up what appears to be a very warm iron flask, which, without too much investigation, you probably remember as the one that Elder Chavinsky was drinking from and offering to Brad. And
I get it now! That's what Dante meant by the collateral damage.
Allie goes to her mom's tent.
In there, you don't find any evidence of a body.
Oh my gosh.
But there's also not a tent there anymore. So not finding a body does not mean a whole lot. Garrett, kind of shakily, from where he's still kneeling, says, He must have had some sort of forces stationed around. If the contract was broken, they were to attack.
Or he just had plans to attack all along. How did he get word out while he was fighting us this entire time?
Can I do another investigation check or arcana to see if this was like magic fire or if this was just regular wartime carnage?
Yeah, roll arcana.
Please. 15.
You haven't seen it personally, but it matches pretty well with the descriptions of draconic fire.
I haven't seen this. I haven't seen it myself, but this matches stuff I've heard about draconic fire.
He could have been planning an attack, I suppose. But it could be he used blood magic to signal his troops. He did sign the contract with his blood.
Do I know anything about blood magic?
A second arcana check? Anyone could make that as well.
Think
19.
about it, Garrett. That doesn't make any damn sense. If he has all of his troops there, he can defeat us. Why split your forces?
I don't know. Maybe it was supposed to be a sort of collateral. Maybe it was not necessarily someone who agreed with the war, but wanted the elves gone anyway, and we're looking for an excuse. There are a million reasons that he could have done it. The man was out of his mind. You saw him.
Not at first. It seems that you would put your cards on the table and let me know, hey, this is going to be what happens if you continue with all of this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, normally that's how villainry goes. Like, you don't just fucking lay waste. That's not how this works.
Oh.
So change of plans, ladies and gentlemen. we're all going to put ourselves back in the cauldron. I am very sorry to let you know, MT, that it would seem that you will have to study war for a bit longer. Because we're going to go back and see Viserys, because we're going to make sure that this entire dragon empire doesn't exist anymore.
Gary, what did you roll in that Arcana? Aubrey, I didn't hear you.
That was a 19.
19.
I know some shit about blood magic.
Blood magic is wonky, but you remember being taught about it as a kid.
In your 6 weeks of college?
No, before your 6 weeks of college. Back when you lived with Faye. Yeah. Who are just all about blood magic. God, they love blood magic.
Yeah, I know. I got kicked out because I don't like blood magic.
Yeah, you would know that it can be used to sort of bypass certain rules of magic at times, or it can like augment a spell. It wouldn't be anywhere close to unheard of to think that any sort of message or sending spell could be augmented to where through this blood magic, if this contract is broken, send a message to this person, or anything like that would be very, very simple for someone who's willing to cast it. You don't think it would be possible to like destroy the village if the contract was broken? Like, you don't think it would be that strong?
Okay.
But like, if it was like 1/10, maybe he could have done it with what he did, but yeah, you think like basically setting a timer on this message spell would be very easy work if that's what he did. But when it comes to blood magic, it's also kind of like, what can you imagine? Those are the rules. If you can think it, you can probably make it work if you're willing to throw enough of your own life essence into this.
Billy will turn around and say, well, the thing about blood magic is that I don't think that he could have destroyed things with it, but he definitely could have sent a message through it. I know some shit about blood magic.
Also, tufted puffins are of the least concern for conservation status. So are horned puffins, for that matter.
Nice, I was wondering about that.
Well, I'm glad.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think that... the thing about blood magic is that it depends on how much of your own life you're willing to put into it, and if he was being controlled by something else, who knows how much it could have told him to put in.
Fair enough.
I know my shit.
What do you all want to do? Do you want to get revenge, or do you want to go back to the bed and breakfast?
I think that we should head back to Versaion and let him know what happened, at least.
Ali?
Yeah,
so
this was kind of...
I think this whole time, Allie's just been like frantically looking through the soot through her mom's tent for basically anything. And when she doesn't find anything, she just like falls to her knees covered in like soot and charcoal and ash and stuff, and just doesn't do or say anything. Like, I think that's it.
For what it's worth, Garrett will kind of stand up, brush some of the ash off of his pants, and turn to Brad and say, revenge is not what Elder Chavinsky would have wanted. He loved peace and diplomacy. God, he loved diplomacy so much. An odd amount of love for diplomacy. I want to stress how much he truly loved diplomacy.
We get it, Garrett.
I do think King Versaion should be notified of what has happened.
Fair. What's your plan after this, then, Garrett? Would you also like to come and be part of our Sukadin-like bed and breakfast?
I... First would like some time to mourn my people.
Fair.
And then I would be happy to help you with that strange thing you said, or travel with your party if you'd prefer that. I would like to seek out a continuation of Master Chavinsky's teachings of diplomacy.
Well, I think that after we inform the king, it will be time for actual downtime then. Get our heads straight. Figure things out, I suppose.
He kind of nods at you and says, I will be here for the foreseeable future. If you have time to pick me up in, say, 2 weeks, I should have finished the funerary rites of our people in that time.
Billy, please make a note of 2 weeks.
Book out like one of the stenographer's pads. And she makes a note of 2 weeks.
And then he will walk over to Allie and put a hand on her shoulder and say, would you like to assist me, young one? Or would you prefer to be with your friends?
Yeah, I don't think she responds.
Garrett, we're going to leave Allie here with you while we go inform the king. We'll stop back and see how things are going. But we're not going to force her into the cauldron. It's a cauldron of trust, you see.
I actually was thinking perhaps you should take her. These are not safe lands.
Oh, fair enough. Brad will throw Allie over his shoulder and bring her over to the cauldron.
Yeah.
Garrett will offer you a hand to shake. Say, I hope to see you again soon then.
In 2 weeks, Garrett. Then Brad will shake his hand.
He will also offer his hand to Billy.
She'll shake it.
He'll say, there's much work I must do. And he sort of turns around and starts kind of looking for any sort of tools that might have left behind or survived the fire. And when he doesn't find one, he just starts kind of wandering off into the forest.
Billy will summon her familiar as a fluffy white cat and place him on Allie's shoulders.
And then Marty Paws is on her head, too. She's just covered in cats.
As she should be. I assume that's what Ellie would want.
Here you go, child. It's what your mother would have wanted.
It's what your mother would have wanted. Don't say that. That sounds like she's dead.
I mean, come on.
Don't.
No
We're not
problem.
inviting that energy in here. We're not inviting that.
The energy's already here.
Oh yeah, sad boy hours. Oh yeah, good session, everybody.
I mean,
Yes.
we don't have anything particular to say to Versaion besides
Letting him know what happened.
that. So if you wanted to fast forward us to the manor and we can pick up there next week, I would be cool with that.
Yep.
Brad will place Allie in her room and have Jimenez bring her some food.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then he will inform Jim Mendez of the amount of the just awful task that they have ahead of them.
Yeah, trying to train a dragonborn in common and in how to work at a bed and breakfast.
Well, Billy can help him in common.
Brad is hoping that, because if I remember correctly, I met, because Jim Mendez is a fighter, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So he's basically just going to be helping me with repairing and smelting things down, and I was kind of hoping that other guy would be a fighter and would be familiar with it, so we wouldn't even have to worry about the common thing for a while. And we could just work on that while we were dealing with the bullshit.
Yes. You will have as much time off as you would want. It is currently the February month.
Ooh.
Yeah, early February. So there's still some snow on the ground. There is some cold winds more than anything. Yeah.
Yes.
So you can take off as much time as you would like.
How does MT seem pretty trustworthy? Like, does he seem to be like pretty psyched about having
Not
something
being
to do
dead?
besides war? Yeah.
He seems very enthusiastic about not being dead.
Righteous.
And if you ask him about it at all, he'll tell you that he was kind of conscripted into fighting. He didn't volunteer into it. So not being in the middle of a war is pretty nice, and not having his insides squeezed out through his mouth/butthole is also super nice.
Righteous. But my biggest, I don't even think that MT needs to be trained on bed and breakfast stuff. I was kind of thinking that he could just help Jim Mendez with the security.
All right, I'll do that. He can't really speak common, so if people start looking rowdy, he's just going to attack instead of trying to talk them down. But
suplex him straight out the door. Yeah, I gotcha.
Billy makes him a cheat sheet.
Oh yeah, we're not going to put him in on security until we're confident that he's cool. It's not an immediate thing. At first, he's just going to be helping me with all of the repairs and bullshit.
He's just gonna Bowser butt slam people.
Yeah.
As you do, as one would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how has the bed and breakfast done in the last month?
That is a good question. I will roll for that next week.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Because it's getting pretty late.
Yeah.
So yeah, any downtime activities that you guys would like? Post it in chat at any point. Or just come with it next week. Or just remember it as we start next week and then say something. And yeah, we'll pick up with kind of the start of downtime.
Allegedly.
It will actually be
Alleged downtime.
Allegedly.
I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it for a second.
If
Look.
during our downtime, Billy could occasionally take the mortar and pestle to go visit Brain and Versaion just to say hi, she would like to.
That
You
seems
have
really
to be
dangerous.
You'd have to be able to find them.
Fuck, you're right. Never mind.
I would like to fly around this hostile country, please.
A whole
Really nice if you
new
teleport
world.
Flying, thank you.
Remember when Allie's family's entire village got burned down over the course of a day? I would like to be there, please. By myself. I'm looking for a dragon.
She will occasionally also write hate letters to the quote unquote wizard. It's located.
Damien the Seer? Damien the Wise?
Yes. Random hate
Philandrio
letters.
the Majestic?
Philandrio, god damn this guy.
Yeah, just occasional hate letters. For no
Billy!
reason.
Billy, make a note that we need to recruit another spellcaster.
Okay. Wait, no, Bradley. She's in the middle of writing one. He says that, and she goes, "No, Bradley, please. You can't make me do this."
Brad just leans over and writes, P.S. Please join our party. Your best friend, Bradley. Heart.
It doesn't say join our party. It says be employed at our bed and breakfast.
Please join our employ.
I'm collecting NPCs like they're Pokemon.
It's building a roster of potentially playable characters to utilize in our adventure.
DLC.
DLC.
Well, I kind of figured, like, we're getting really high level, and eventually it might kind of be fun to, you know, play one of these characters at, like, 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever they happen to be.
All the Mendezes.
Mendez episode.
I mean, my dream is that we're all gone on a mission and we have a fucking, we have a bed and breakfast siege that we have to deal with. Somebody Brad pissed off is got a fucking small posse and they're trying to fucking...
It's just the fucking Mendezes.
Hey, whoa, we have fucking MT as well, and Garrett's gonna be there eventually. Like, we have pretty, you know.
It's all coming together.
Also, yeah, so we've got Jim Mendez, we've got Jimenez, and we've got Jay Imdez.
Mm-hmm.
And then Garrett and fucking MT.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If we get a spellcaster in there, like we've got a party.
Yeah, and why not make it Julio the Great?
Why not?
Brad is just keeping his eyes open. It's not necessarily for, Damien the Seer. It's just for a spellcaster in general.
It's not necessarily for Damson, the spelly boy.
I mean, we definitely should have recruited him.
Did you see how much magic was in his shop?
Yes.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah. Good shit, everybody.
Great.
You successfully killed.
Good session, guys.
You killed Dante, the head of the insurrections, as far as you're concerned.
Yay, we won. And then I lost.
Everything's coming up, Justin.
Elves don't die, their bodies just become misplaced. Totally lying to make her feel better.
Is it working? No, she still looks dead inside.
Slight improvement over when she looked dead outside. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm just gonna go.
Okay.
Good playing with you guys. I
Yeah.
hope you had fun,
What?
even though it was a combat episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was great.
There was some good shit.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Nice roller coaster.
At
Yeah, damn.
At some point during your downtime, Tim, remind me that you will be visited by Kusanagi.
You will be visited by 3 spirits.
Yeah, the first one is Allie's mom.
It's all
No,
your fault.
we're not inviting that energy. We are not inviting that energy.
The first one is Elder Chavinsky, and he just rambles on about how you should have used diplomacy to solve your problems.
I would love to watch Bradley tell the ghost of Allie's mom to fuck off because he doesn't have time for this.
Oh, Abby's mom! I was actually waiting for a much more important vision. This is really awkward. Shit! I mean, I feel bad, but I've gotta go! So long!
What was that?
Brad sees Allie's mom, like, out in the desert. Return the slab. I'll suffer my curse. I'm busy. Stupid ghost. Made me look bad.
That's it. That's how it would go. Canon now.
Stupid.
All right.
Yes.
Visited by Elder Chavinsky, Allie's mom, and
Dante.
Hmm.
And Dante comes and is just like, hey bro, how you doing?
Oh no, what was the name? What was it? Cheesemo? Was that?
God, I love
the ghost of Cheesemo yet to come.
That is one that Brad will see if he can strangle an astral projection.
Heard you were looking for a spellcaster. Cheesemo ate a whole rock by himself.
Yeah, it's the ghost of Allie's mom, the ghost of Cheesemo, and the ghost of Laundre. Right? It's the trifecta.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Brian cameo question.
Bradley.
Bradley, I've been standing here this whole time. Why are you ignoring me?
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys have a good rest of your
Yeah,
night.
you too.
Hi, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Frog, thanks for hanging out for game. I will be in touch with you throughout the week. But I'm signing off now. So, goodbye.